Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of this Song and Story Show. दोस्तों, आपका स्वागत है और आपको अनेक अनेक धन्यवाद। बहुत लोगों ने बहुत सारे कमेंट्स किए हैं, कुछ लोगों ने सब्सक्राइब भी किया है मेरे चैनल को। कोई ऐसे कमर्शियल चैनल तो नहीं बनाना चाहता हूँ मैं, फिर भी आपके लाड़ प्यार से अगर कुछ हो जाए तो क्या बुरा है, क्यों? आज के शो में मैं सोचता हूँ कि आपको पहले मैं एक अपना किस्सा सुनाऊंगा, बचपन का। थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग बनाने की कोशिश करूँगा। फिर उसके बाद एक फरमाइश आया है rather, कि गाने का, हमें तुमसे प्यार कितना ये हम नहीं जानते। ये मेरे कज़न रमा ने कहा कि ये गाना आप ज़रूर गाना, तो कोशिश करूँगा कि मैं वो गाना रमा और आप सब लोगों को मैं सुनाऊँ। Friends, as I told you last time, I've written a lot of stories, but the problem is I don't want to just keep reading stories. So I thought that I'll share with you a very interesting episode, an experience rather from my childhood. And to begin the story, I have to take you back to Chennai, in fact, in the 1960s. So we were at that time living in Chennai. हम लोग चेन्नई में रहते थे 1960 के दशक में, और वहाँ पे वी यूज टू स्टे इन अ प्लेस कॉल्ड पेरम्बूर. माय फादर यूज टू वर्क इन द ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्री एट आवड़ी. जो मद्रास के लोग हैं वो जानते होंगे ये जगह, पेरम्बूर और आवड़ी. तो मेरे फादर जो है आवड़ी जाया करते थे अपने काम के सिलसिले में, और हम लोग पेरम्बूर में माधवरम हाई रोड वहाँ पे रहते थे. तो हम लोग ऑलमोस्ट 1968 तक वहाँ पे रहे हैं, 67 68 तक रहे हैं. फिर उसके बाद क्योंकि मेरे फादर गवर्नमेंट सर्विस में थे, माय फादर वाज विद द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, so he got transferred to Delhi. So we all came to Delhi in somewhere in 1968. अब दिल्ली में तो हमारा कोई रहने का ठिकाना नहीं था. वी हैड एन अंकल इन दिल्ली who was staying in RK Puram, Sector 3. RK Puram, many of you may not know, it was one of the largest government residential colonies for government employees. So most of the government employees used to live in these quarters. There are many, and RK Puram is the largest. It's divided into various sectors. सेक्टर 1 2 3 से सेक्टर 12 13 तक था, पता नहीं कितना है उसमें. So my uncle was staying at that time, staying in sector 3, RK Puram. So we all landed up bag and baggage in his house. हम लोग मेरे माता पिता के अलावा मैं, मेरी एल्डर सिस्टर और मेरे दो एक भाई और बहन थे जो ट्विंस थे. तो चार तो बच्चे थे और दो बड़े हो गए. और मेरे अंकल के घर में भी जो है उनके 5 लड़कियां थी, और वो खुद वाइफ के साथ थे. तो 7 लोग वो थे, और हम लोग जो है 6 लोग हम लोग धमक गए हैं वहाँ पे. So you will understand that if today there is a big group of 7 people or 6 people coming to your house, small flat, you would feel inconvenienced. But at that time, I think we had no option but to go and trouble my uncle. So they were quite generous, in fact. So till the time we could find a house for ourselves, we were staying with our uncle there. So then came the issue of school, admission to schools. In Chennai, I was studying in Don Bosco High School, and my sister was also in a convent, the elder sister. My younger brother and sister were toddlers. In fact, they were barely, I think, 3 or 4 at that time. So when I left my school there in Chennai, my principal had given me a recommendation letter saying that you take this letter to the Don Bosco school in Delhi, and you will get admission. So my father went there, met the principal, but unfortunately they didn't have any vacancy, so he turned us down. He didn't give any credence to the recommendation. तो वो डॉन बॉस्को स्कूल में तो मिला नहीं। तो हमारे अंकल तोतादरी ने सजेस्ट किया है कि भाई यहाँ पे वो DTEA स्कूल है। DTEA वॉज दिल्ली तमिल एजुकेशन एसोसिएशन, मद्रासियों का एक स्कूल है। तो वहाँ पे तो प्रेफरेंस मिलेगा मद्रासियों को, तमिलियंस को प्रेफरेंस मिलता है। सो इट इज़ इन सेक्टर 4, देन यू शुड गो एंड चेक आउट दैट स्कूल। तो मैं पहले मेरे फादर गए होंगे तो उन्होंने कहा बच्चों को ले आइए, हो जाएगा एडमिशन। तो मैं और मेरी सिस्टर जो है दोनों चले गए उस स्कूल में। अब स्कूल के गेट में मैंने जब एंटर किया तो इट वॉज अ कल्चर शॉक फॉर मी। और वो कैसे, वहाँ तो मैं कॉन्वेंट में पढ़ता था और बड़ा सा वहाँ बिल्डिंग था। इट वॉज अ बिग बिल्डिंग, द स्कूल वॉज ब्यूटिफुल विद अ बिग ग्राउंड एंड the discipline of a convent and stuff like that. So as I entered the gates of this school, all I saw before me was a spread of tents, numerous tents all spread out. Tents like the temporary tents put up for army people, maybe somewhere, not exactly a circus kind of tent, but small tents. And every small tent was a class, and there was a bigger tent for the principal, and there were some sheds on one side, which later I came to know housed the library, the staff room, and the lab. So I was shocked. I thought, no, is this a school? Has my father made a mistake? So I asked my father, no, we have come to the right place, no? So he said, of course we have come to the right place. Come, let's go and meet the principal. So we went and met the principal, and quickly all the formalities were done, and we were admitted in the school. So that was a big culture shock for me. That was the first shock, the one of the many that I was to face in Delhi. Coming from deep south to absolute the north was a huge culture difference, and it would take a lot of time for me to adjust. There we used to speak in Tamil. Here a lot of Hindi had to be spoken. Of course, there my second language was Hindi, but I won't claim much about knowledge of Hindi as far as speaking is concerned. So the second priority, once our school was done, the second priority was finding a house quickly so that we can relieve Mr. Totadri and his family of our burden. So my father searched for a house, and he got a flat in another sector, sector 6, I recall now. So we stayed there for a while, maybe a couple of months, 6, 7, 8 months. And then I don't know what was the reason. We again shifted. We had to shift again, in fact. तो हम RK पुरम छोड़ के जो है, जहाँ पे हमारा स्कूल भी था, my father found a house in Safdarjung enclave. तो दिल्ली वाले सफदरजंग एनक्लेव जानते हैं, it is an upmarket location. Even at that time it was. And going from a government colony to an upmarket location was quite another leap for us. So in Safdarjung enclave there were DDA flats, Delhi Development Authority. So we had DDA flats there, and it was 1+1. There was a ground floor, there was a first floor. So the owner of the first floor flat also got possession of the terrace and a barsati which came along with the terrace. Barsati, if I have to put it in simple words, is a rain shelter. It's a small kind of, it was a room on top of the terrace. And in those days, even that room was let out for rent by the owner of the first floor flat. So money on the side, why not? So we, in fact, were to be housed in the Barsati, which was right on top of the terrace, on the terrace. It was a one room, as I said, one large room, rectangular size, and there was no separate kitchen. A kitchen with just a partition was there with some racks, and that was the kitchen. We had to make do with that, and we all used to sleep on the floor in the night. We used to spread the beds and sleep on the floor. It was okay. We didn't mind that at all, in fact. And but what was bugging me was, now how do I establish myself in this strange place? Right in front of the house there was this large playground. Now after school I used to go down to the playground and watch the kids, boys play there. And one thing about Punjabis which I must tell you here is that Punjabis are fair. Boys are aggressive and boisterous, and they were all nattily dressed at that time. Compared to me, a South Indian from deep south, in fact. So I used to go there with my Hawaii chappal, the slippers, bathroom slippers, and my looks were also lizard-like, kind of. I was kind of thin and dark, and I had that complex when I went down there, and I used to watch these guys laugh and play and run around. So I wondered, how can I make friends here? Because nobody seemed to be looking at me. I was feeling ignored, and I was shy and feeling inferior. Those boys were wearing shoes. At that time, hunters, they were the kind of in thing sports shoes, and I was wearing chappal. I don't think I had a pair of sports shoe at that time. So anyway, I used to just sit there and watch the proceedings. And one day, one of these guys took a note of me and just called me, and he said, "आप नए आए हो क्या? You're new to this place?" I said, "Yes." "No, where do you live?" I just pointed out at the flat, and he said, "बरसाती में रहते हैं हम लोग." कहते, अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, तो कहाँ पढ़ते हो? I said, "No, this DTA school in RK Puram." Said, "Okay, well, do you want to join us?" I said, "I'd very much like to join us." My Hindi was also insufficient, and it was more of gestures and understanding the context of what he was trying to say. So he shouted at others, "आओ यार, एक मद्रासी लड़का है, मिल लो इससे भी." So that day, they were having a race, a running kind of race, and they were all getting ready. Some 6 boys were lined up. So, this guy asked me, "Would you like to join the race?" I said, "Yes, of course." Then he looked at my slippers and said, "Boss, you are not wearing shoes. Why don't you go home and wear your shoes?" I said, "No, okay, I can run with the slippers on." He said, "No, the slipper will break." I said, "No, I'll take off the slippers and run barefoot." So they all laughed at me, kind of sniggered at me, which I didn't mind. I said, "Okay, let me get on with this." So I also stood in the line, and the race began. Somebody blew the whistle, and we all started running. I had taken off my slippers, and it was on the road, and we had to do a round of the ground, in fact. So I took off my slippers and I started running. So no, I had never run a race before, and the guys who were running along with me were all strong boys, all strong boys and running fast. So I said, "Okay, let me at least finish second last, if not the last." So after some time, I don't know what got into me. I just forgot that I was running a race. All the background blurred. I couldn't see anybody either in front of me, and I didn't turn to see who was behind me. And suddenly it was blank. I could just see the road, and I was just running like mad. In fact. So I don't know what happened, in fact. So I just kept running blindly, you know. And then suddenly, you know, when the race was about to end, I felt somebody push me from behind. So and I stumbled and fell. So when I got up, I found the boys were crowded around me and they were all slapping my back and congratulating me. I said, no, this is quite funny. In fact, somebody pushed, I fell down, and these guys are laughing at me and congratulating me. No sympathy here. I almost felt like crying, in fact. Then they, you know, got me up and dusted me and make me sit near the ground. And they told me that, you know, I had fallen only after I had crossed the finishing line, and I came first in the race. So, you know, that is how I established myself with the boys, and you know, that was the icebreaker. You know, I was something. You know, I could prove myself that I'm not a Madrasi guy. So, you know, this was my first defining kind of experience. I recall another small experience there in Safdar Enclave, you know, which I'd like to share with you. That was, you know, we going to buy milk. You know, there was this एक वो था गौशाला था, एक बड़ा सा नाला था. There was a big nala is the drain, you know, where the water flows. It was almost like a small river, and the thing with banks on both sides. तो उस नाले के किनारे जो है वो तबेले लगते थे. No, there used to be stables. These cow sheds were there. So I used to go there sometimes, maybe twice or thrice in a week, to buy milk for the house. So when I went there, I used to see, you know, a lot of pigs wallowing in the water there, and I used to wonder at them. You know, so many pigs. I've never seen such a huge collection of pigs anywhere. So anyway, you know, this particular day when I went there, as usual, the pigs were all having their bath in the nala, in the drain, happily. In fact, then suddenly I noticed that there was a van standing uh, a bit away from the nala, and the two or three guys they got down, followed by a couple of dogs. These guys had big nets in their hands, in fact, and they were looking very closely at the pigs. So the guy who sells the milk, he told me, "Look, look, देखे देखे वो म्यूनसिपालिटी वाले आ गए सुअर को पकड़ने के लिए." No, these municipality guys have come to catch the pigs. So I wondered, you know, it was quite interesting. I said, how will they catch the pigs? So let me see. So I began to watch this spectacle, which was no less than a bush kazi. You know, if you guys have seen that movie Dayavan, now there is this Afghan sporting event where, you know, the wild animals are chased on a horse. So this was going to be something like that, I thought. And I was wondering, you know, why the dogs? So these guys were, in the meantime, suddenly slowly creeping up on the pigs, and suddenly the dogs were unleashed. Now, the moment the dogs were unleashed, they started to bark and run after the pigs, and the pigs sensed danger and they started running like mad. I've never seen pigs running so fast. No, I never thought pigs could run this fast, and they were running like, you know, stallions, Arabian stallions in a race course or something like that, with the hounds chasing them. And I wondered what these hounds are going to do, and soon enough I saw one of the dogs pounce on a pig and grab its ears. In fact, it took hold of the ears, and that was it. You know, the pig was trying to escape. The dog would not give up, and these guys, municipality guys, were also chasing in the meantime. They were following the dogs with the big net in their hand. Now, after a while, the pig got tired, and the dog wouldn't let go of the ear. So finally, the dog managed to pull down the pig, and these guys who were following, they threw the net over the pig and trapped it in the net. So this event, the sporting event, was amazing. In fact, I can never forget it, and I thought I'll share this with you. It was an exciting event for me. So. Uh, so we stayed in Subdhana Enclave for a while, and then we moved on. We moved to RK Puram again, where my father was allotted his own a flat of his own in Sector 4. So, friends, I thought these events would be interesting for you, and in the next episodes, I'll try to share more such events and maybe give you an insight into my own personality and character. I don't know whether it matters, but have fun at my cost at least. Okay, we'll do that next time. So now, coming back to the request from Rama. Rama ji, दीदी आपके लिए गाना है, सुनिए गौर से. Okay, I am going to now hit the karaoke button and हमें तुमसे प्यार कितना ये हम नहीं जानते, मगर जी नहीं सकते तुम्हारे बिना. हमें तुमसे प्यार कितना ये हम नहीं जानते, मगर जी नहीं सकते तुम्हारे बिना. हमें तुमसे प्यार कितना. तुम्हें कोई और देखे तो जलता है दिल, बड़ी मुश्किलों से फिर संभलता है दिल. क्या क्या जतन करते हैं तुम्हें क्या पता, ये दिल बेकरार कितना ये हम नहीं जानते, मगर जी नहीं सकते तुम्हारे बिना. हमें तुमसे प्यार कितना. सुना गम जुदाई का उठाते हैं लोग, जाने जिंदगी कैसे बिताते हैं लोग, दिन भी यहाँ तो लगे बरस के समान। हमें इंतजार कितना ये हम नहीं जानते, मगर जी नहीं सकते तुम्हारे बिना। हमें तुमसे प्यार कितना ये हम नहीं जानते, मगर जी नहीं सकते तुम्हारे बिना। हमें तुमसे प्यार कितना। Rama, hope you like the song. Okay, friends, thank you very much for listening in to this episode. As usual, please like, comment, react on the channel as well as on Facebook, where I'll be sharing the link. Thank you so much. Till the next episode, goodbye. Have a nice day. Thank you.